people having sports injuries, that's really your niche.
Mm-hmm.
Your niche is coming in after the fact, or actually coming in before the fact and doing a lot of preventative maintenance on the body.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, there's so many different ways to treat an injury or to prevent an injury, but the key thing is that the healthier that the body is in general, the healthier the tendons and ligaments and joints are going to be, and that's mostly what I've been focused on during my entire practice. So it's not just, one solution for one person. You have to take the person's individual case into account, and everybody requires something a little bit different.
So when somebody comes in and you do an analysis on their situation, it really is about preventative. It's about, okay, perhaps you weigh a little bit more than you should, perhaps you have an injury that we can try to repair. So you do an analysis and then try to figure out perhaps what's happening inside the body and then make a prescription, essentially preventative prescription to improving their life situation.
Yeah, and you have to take into account what their sport is. Are they a weekend warrior or are they a competitive athlete? And in general, I don't want to take anybody away from their sport because that's, in general, that's a very good thing for them. It's probably good for them mentally, emotionally. It's good that they're getting out and exercising. But sometimes we have to kind of slow them down in their sport while we're trying to rehab an injury. But yeah, prevention is obviously what we're absolutely going for. So oftentimes it comes down to diet and lifestyle. A lot of kind of weekend warrior type people are the ones that get these nasty injuries because they're sedentary during the week, and then they try and pretend that they're 18 again on the weekend, and they can pull an Achilles tendon or blow a knee or something like that. And those ones are a little bit more difficult to prevent, but for the most part, we want to help them have a better diet, have a more healthy lifestyle, and less sedentary.
In the mix there's the immune system. And obviously, well, I don't know if we've been able to recreate the immune system within the body. It doesn't seem like we have, but we've been able to figure out some of the ways to support it, and that's where some of this naturopathic medicine comes into play when you take a look at how can we support the immune system to speed up the recovery of some of these sports injuries. So what are the latest things that are happening out there? What can we grasp onto to say, I've had this issue and I'd like to get it repaired. What would you suggest if I had an issue with maybe an internal muscle issue, a torn muscle or something like that?
Yeah, well, we definitely want to look at that muscle issue at the local level and see if there's anything that we can do to help regenerate the tissues locally. But then we also want to consider what kind of things we can do systemically to help the overall inflammation in the body. Some people are just at a heightened state of inflammation, and when they get injured, that injury is going to last a lot longer than somebody who's less inflamed. So locally, let's just say you have a torn ligament. There's things that you can do. There's certain regenerative injection techniques where you could inject a specific natural solution into the tendon, which encourages the body to repair that tendon or that ligament. There's a technique called prolotherapy, which is one of these regenerative injection techniques where you can inject the tendon or ligament with a certain solution, and it encourages a targeted inflammatory healing cycle in that tissue, and it helps it to repair on its own.
Is that like a